Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. So today I'm going to teach you how to heal from a heartbreak. If you're somebody who has gone through heartbreak or you're going through a heartbreak and you're feeling depressed and lonely and sad and you don't know how to overcome these feelings that you're feeling, you go online and you stalk your ex or you hear from people around you about your ex, how your ex is doing better than you you end up feeling even more sad and depressed. And you think that you will not be able to survive this heartbreak. If you are feeling all of these feelings and if you are confused in life, if you're feeling lost in life, then let me teach you how to overcome all of these feelings, because at the end of the day you don't realize that these are just feelings. So there's no certainty in it. These are just feelings and you can overcome them if you follow the path of least resistance. So, what do I mean by least resistance? What I mean by least resistance is that you are not going with the flow of this life. Life is happening to you, but you're resisting. You do not want to accept what has happened to you. You simply keep on pushing yourself in the direction that, okay, this has not happened to me. I'm not going through this. My ex hasn't left me, and I'm not this single person. My life is not ruined. I want to be this individual who thinks that they can get back their ex. Or then I go through this whole dilemma that, okay, this is happening to me, but I don't want to really look into this feeling. I don't want to accept that I'm going through this. So there is a lack of acceptance. There's a lot of resistance to your current situation. And as long as you keep resisting to your current situation, you will keep on feeling sad and depressed. No matter what you do in life, you'll not be able to overcome all of these feelings because you end up thinking that this is how life shouldn't be happening to you. So you keep on blaming yourself. You don't blame anybody else except yourself. And as long as you keep blaming yourself for all of these feelings that you're feeling, you will never be able to overcome it. You know why? Because you end up rationalizing every aspect of your relationship. You go back into the past and you rationalize everything that this individual has made you feel and what you've gone through, all of your arguments, all of your conversations. And you keep telling yourself that maybe it is me. I have done something wrong. And it is me who has not really paid attention to my ex, or it was me who didn't really work upon this relationship. I don't know what happened to you, and it doesn't matter actually what happened to you. What matters is what is it that you're thinking about what has happened to you, how you're perceiving it. The problem with all of us is that whenever we go through hardships, we perceive hardships very, very differently from each other. So if I'm going through something, I will perceive something very differently than how you're going through something and how you're perceiving it. How we react to a situation determines how we end up doing either well or we end up feeling sad in life. So you go on looking for explanation when there is none. You keep thinking to yourself, oh, there must be something that this uh, individual said to me that I overlooked. And when you rationalize everything and yet you're not able to deduct anything because there's nothing to deduct, you cannot understand people and situations, and you cannot put a tag on things like, okay, this didn't work out because I was like this, or this didn't work out because this person was like this. Sometimes things don't work out. And I'll tell you why. Because the problem is that if you keep on rationalizing everything, if you keep looking for explanation, you'll keep on going into this deep end of the water where you'll end up drowning yourself in misery. That's what you're doing. You're drowning yourself in misery over and over again. And it's not really working out for you. Has it worked out for you so far? You're trying to find an explanation to things. See, you cannot rationalize people. You cannot rationalize individual behavior, why this person did something. If they have given an explanation to you and you're not agreeing to it, then the problem is that there are two aspects to it. One is that you never understood this individual, and the other one is that you never understood yourself. The only thing that you can do right now is try understanding yourself, because you cannot really in totality understand anybody on this planet. People go through things, people go through stuff in life, and they keep changing their thought process. And what somebody is thinking, you cannot decipher. But yes, you can pay attention to what you are doing in life, how you're perceiving things, and how you're looking at things. And that's the difference, right? We want to look at things, we want to perceive things, but we end up perceiving things from somebody else's perspective. And that is why we don't understand a lot of things in our life. So, the very first thing that I want you to do is I want you to stop rationalizing why, what, just stop it. Because there's no resolution there. You will not find a resolution in this aspect of your life where you go on looking for explanations. Just let it go. So, next thing is that a lot of people don't move on from their ex. They keep on stalking their ex or trying to get information on their ex, because that's how they can feel even more miserable in life, because sometimes your ex has moved on very fast, very quick, like that. And you keep saying to yourself, "Oh, how did this happen? How did my ex move on so quickly? I mean, I'm the one who's feeling miserable right now, and yet my ex has the audacity to move on." And then you will keep feeling horrible about your life. The reason why you're feeling horrible and the reason why you're feeling all of these things is because you, as I said, have not accepted this life, what is happening to you. So you keep stalking your ex, you keep going back into that whole idea that, oh, I have to find out what my ex is doing. Stop that. Just stop it right now, because that is not serving any purpose in your life except making you feel even more miserable than you already are. So we'll stop that activity altogether. If you cannot stop yourself from stalking your ex, delete all of your social media platforms. Let's get back to the whole idea of how to heal ourselves. I'll give you three ways in which you can heal yourself. The very first one is that you write down right now what you're feeling, and then you write down how that individual made you feel. First of all, you'll get a lot of clarity. When you write down things, you get a lot of clarity actually, because half the things that you're thinking in your mind are simply irrational. So once you start looking at what you're thinking, you will get a lot of clarity. Second thing that I want you to do is, let's say you are stalking your ex a lot, or you're talking to individuals that were in that same circle. What I want you to do is, I want you to stop speaking to these individuals who are very common for both of you. Also, I want you to stop um stalking that individual by either blocking them or exiting from your social media platform. And the third thing that I'm going to tell you is going to be very different from what you've ever done in your life, is to sit in meditation for 15 minutes every day. I know it's the most difficult task, but people don't realize that all of the chaos that they're experiencing in this life of theirs, this feeling of depression, anxiety, sadness, and fear of loneliness that people are facing in their life, is because they have no access to their true self. So if you had access to your true self, it would have moved on like this. If it knew how this individual was treating them, and if it knew how this individual was not correct for them. But right now, you are not aware of your own self. You have very less idea of who you are. So what you keep doing is you keep on going back to this idea that this person might come back into your life, or how you can bring that individual back into your life. Why do you want to bring somebody who's already left you in tatters back into your life? If somebody has ever made you feel uncertain about yourself, let them walk away. You know why? Because you deserve better. You deserve somebody who treats you like a king or a queen, who worships, literally worships, the whole idea of you. They don't want to change anything in you. They don't want to correct anything in your personality. They love you the way you are. And if you've not found that kind of love, and you think you'll never find that kind of love, let me tell you, it is just how you're thinking right now. So if you don't change that mindset of yours, you'll never attract the right individual in your life. You'll keep on attracting all of these frogs and toads who don't turn out to be prince and princesses. That's what you're doing. So you don't have to do that. All you have to do is sit in meditation for 15 minutes every day. I'll tell you what it do for your life. Right now, people think, oh, meditation is only for people who want to become spiritual. Yes, it is for them also, but it is for every one of us, a common man like you and me, who goes through a lot of difficulties in life. If we don't sit in meditation and we only think that, okay, somebody who's very spiritual should sit in meditation and it's not for me, then let me tell you that you are missing out on the 1% rule that a lot of people understand. That 1%ers in this life understand this rule, and that is they have clarity here. So you don't have clarity there. Your mind is right now troubling you. Every day when you wake up and you go to sleep, you have only same pattern of thoughts that tell you, oh, you're not doing well in life. This person walked away from your life. You should have done better. How's the world going to react? Or you were supposed to get married to an individual and this individual broke up the marriage and they walked away, and you say to yourself, oh, now this is like a dhabba on my life, this black spot on my life. Nobody will get married to me. So there'll be lots of conversations happening behind my back. People will say this, people will say that, whatever. Uh, Plethora of thoughts you have kept in your mind, hidden from the world, that you keep accessing to every day. They're not right for you. And you cannot correct them by meeting individuals who might push you towards better thought process. No, you have to still your mind. You can sit with your friends, you can have conversations with your friends if that makes you feel better, but at the end of the day you're coming back to your own life. So when you're alone, when you're lonely, when you're driving your car, or when you're sitting alone in your room, and suddenly you feel this barrage of thoughts coming into your mind, you think, oh, this world is coming crashing down, my world is ended, when this person walked away from my life, all of these thoughts will come to your mind, and you'll be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do with my life? My life is not going anywhere. Suddenly I'm like finding my life has come to a standstill. It's stopped now. Where do you think you can get the energy to create new things in your life, attract new things? If you think that with this pattern of thought process, you can attract another individual in your life who's really right for you, who treats you well, who worships you, literally worships you, then it's not happening. Let me correct you here that this personality that you have created, this sad individual that you have created, will not attract a good individual in your life. It's only going to attract another sad individual or depressed or probably a narcissistic individual. Let me tell you something that people usually fail to grasp on in their life, and that is whatever you think, you attract in your life. So if you're right now thinking very low, very negative about your life, you will end up attracting that same energy in your life in the form of another individual in your life. So you have to correct your thought process, and you cannot correct your thought process by watching movies, by going out to cafes and enjoying your life, thinking, oh, this is how I'm going to feel good about my life. You'll feel good for a certain period of time, a limited period of time. But when you're alone, you will come back to that same thought process, because you don't understand there's only one way to correct your thought process, and that is to create some stillness in your mind. Right now you have a very chaotic mindset, and that chaotic mindset is going on a repeat pattern of thought, and it's attracting that repeat pattern of individuals in your life. In fact, you'll realize that you have attracted similar individuals in your life. Same kind of men or women walk into your life, same, something is very similar in them. Go back and see, and you'll find that it's not the individuals that are wrong, it's your thought process that is wrong. You must be having some thought process about yourself and how you look at yourself, how you perceive yourself, how you think of this life that you want to create, and that is how you end up creating that life. To improve your life, you have to first improve your thought process. And if you want to change this life, you want to change how you're feeling, you want to attract new energy in your life, you have to sit in stillness. And I'll give you something else also. something that will allow you to heal from your heartache. And that is that you have to think of yourself as an individual that has gone through this heartache to become somebody else. This new reality must come into your life. Version has not worked out for you, and probably it's not worked out for you for a very long period of time. First of all, you didn't end up getting great people in your life, and that also took a lot of time. Like, for somebody nice to walk into your life, it took a lot of time, and probably you had a nice individual in your life, but they didn't stay for very long. So, if you want to improve your life, if you want to heal from this heartache, you have to understand that you went through this heartache to also improve yourself in terms of creating a new pattern of thought. So, this new version of you must level up to the life that you want. Right now, you've not leveled up, so there's a reason why you're failing miserably, and there is no big secret to it. But to level up, you need to become a better version of yourself. And by better, I don't mean that you become this individual who listens a lot to another individual, or who showers another individual with lots of gifts and praises. Leveling up means you reach to your true self. Once you understand who you are and you're operating at your truest self, you will attract that like minded energy in your life. If you don't reach to your true self, you will keep on seeing the same pattern of people in your life. And surrender yourself to the divine. Your ego has been all over the place, it's walking with you hand in hand. So, right now, it's telling you, oh, you should have done better, or this individual did this to you, how did it make you feel? So your ego is right now tripping, it's on a very nice trip, and it's making you feel miserable. So you have to come out of that ego state of mind, and that can happen if you start surrendering to the divine. You have to do nam jap. If you do that, it'll stabilize your thought process, because right now, even if you sit in meditation, you'll probably come out of it exhausted, and you'll not be able to stabilize your mind throughout the day, because right now you're going through heartache. So your heart is not aching for this individual, it is aching for you, because you went through this. When the world is enjoying, you know, being in relationships, you're the one who's alone. So people take heartache to another level sometimes, and they think that they'll never find another individual in their life, and then they go on creating these whole ideas in their life that since I didn't find anybody till this age, I'll never find anybody now. I mean, life is what you create it to be. If that is what you want, then yes, you can keep on creating that idea. But if you want to do better in life, if you want to have that life where you get the right person in your life, as I keep saying, you will get that right individual. And write down what kind of person you want in your life. Not about manifestation, because a lot of people think that the moment I'm going to write down what kind of person I want, I'm going to manifest it. No, this is about you getting clarity, because suddenly you will get clarity into kind of individual you want in your life. And then once you get clarity on the kind of individual you want in your life, if you come across such an individual who you might have overlooked probably earlier, because this person didn't have great looks, or maybe didn't have enough money, but suddenly you will realize that this individual might have been there in your life all along, and you overlooked them because your QRs for an individual were very different. So you've gone through a heartache, you'll also know what kind of person you want in your life. It has to be very different from your ex. So write down the kind of person you want in your life, and this will be a reality check for you, because till now you were looking for an individual that was very different in terms of, they should have looks, they should have money, they should be all around perfect. See, if you'll go for perfection, probably you'll end up feeling sad, because nobody is perfect. And if you think that you found that perfect individual, then you'll probably see that that individual is very different from your idea of perfection till now. So do that. Write down the kind of person you want, Because the moment you do that, you'll get a lot of clarity and it'll be very different from your ex. I'm telling you, it'll be very different. Times in life, we feel that it's not okay to be lonely, but it's okay to be in a relationship with a red flag. So we'll keep ignoring these signs of being in a relationship with a red flag. We'll keep on ignoring a toxic individual's personality traits, how they're treating us, how they're making us feel, because we would rather be in a relationship with a toxic individual than go on showcasing the world that we are single people. So that is the reason why a lot of people go through relationship withdrawals. When somebody breaks up with them, especially a narcissistic individual, they will keep blaming themselves because, first, a narcissistic individual will always tell you that it's your fault. So you'll end up accepting that and you'll end up saying yes to that feedback. Yes, it's me. I'm the one who's responsible for all of this sadness, and I'm the reason why things didn't work out. And that is the reason why a lot of people go through anxiety and depression because they didn't understand that they were in a relationship with a toxic individual. So you must pay attention to how this individual made you feel throughout your relationship. And yes, you know that your gut feeling tells you how this individual was treating you, but you end up still believing their feedback over your own personal feedback. What your instinct is telling you, you'll ignore it. You know why? Because this is something that you keep on doing almost every day, not just with another toxic individual. This is what you do with everybody around you. You accept everyone's feedback as your reality, but you don't accept your own personal feedback as your reality because this is what you've been taught as a child, to ignore these things, to accept what somebody else is telling you. And you're an empath, then yes, you are going through a lot of sadness because you ended up pouring so much of your heart into that relationship. You actually changed yourself for another individual. That's what you say to yourself. You didn't change yourself for another individual. You changed yourself to be accepted by another individual. You didn't do it out of love. You did it out of the whole idea that they would be able to accept me more because there's something wrong with me, so I have to change myself to please somebody else. That's your problem. You keep changing yourself like a chameleon. Every time you go in a relationship with somebody, you end up pleasing them to no ends. In fact, you change yourself so much that you can't recognize yourself. So now, once that individual has walked away from your life, you are left with the breadcrumbs of what that individual made you out to be. So now you're confused because now you're no longer associating with what you had become with that individual, how you gave away all of your freedom, all of the likeliness of who you are as an individual to make somebody else's life beautiful. So you went out of your way because you think that there's something wrong with you. You keep finding faults with yourself and you keep putting somebody else on an elevation, right? That this individual is far more better than me. Yes, and you're still crying lots of tears over this individual. Let me tell you, God saved you. You got saved by divine because let's say you were to spend rest of your life with this individual and they wouldn't have walked away, but they would have still kept on mistreating you, ignoring you, especially not helping you out in your hour of need. How would that make you feel? So you got saved. By divine's grace, this person just walked away. And that's what you can say to yourself, that this person walked away from my life because better things are yet to come. And this person wasn't right for me. But do we say that to ourselves, or we say to ourselves that, oh, this person walked away from my life is now in ruins, what will I do with my life will never improve. It was not meant to improve only because this person wasn't right for you, but you kept on saying to yourself, oh, this person is right for me because how we appear to the society, how everyone is telling us, oh, you look so great together. That's the problem. You're going for all of these, you know, fake facades of a relationship, how we look on social media, how we appear to our friends. But you know your reality. You know how this individual treats you. So the whole look perception, especially on social media, where you keep posting these beautiful pictures of yourself with this individual on vacations and you keep posting pictures of yourself partying around and enjoying your life. But then you have to live a real life too, right? This real life that you have to live has lots of ups and downs. It's not how you build strong relationships. In fact, that is a fake relationship if it is built only on the look aspect. How we're looking, how we're appearing to our friends and the world together. If that's what you're aiming at, then you actually are very sad and lonely already in that relationship. Everybody has to go through tough times. Only people who know their real selves will go with real people, and people who don't know themselves will go with fake ones. And with that, I'm going to end this vlog. I hope you love this vlog. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment down below. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.